Hi, my name is Logan McKinley. I am from a company called iResponse Technologies, and this is our product we call the Erika system. And I want to kind of introduce it to you. The first thing I want to talk about is some of the hardware. We've actually really developed this for the ALS market in general. And you'll see some of our design decisions are really specifically for that market. The first thing that we started off with is a tablet PC. And unlike a lot of companies who have a system that's really just for communication, we have tried to build a system that can build from that. We feel that communication is, yes, face-to-face, that's obviously one of the most important things, but also you've got web, you've got email, you've got instant messaging, and we've tried to build a system that can do all those things. So some of the specs on the system, it's a dual-core Centrino with 2 gigs of RAM standard, 100 gig hard drive standard, built-in Bluetooth, built-in wireless internet. So really you've got a platform that you can do anything. We've got architects, we've got web designers, we've got software designers, we've got CEOs, all using this system. We've added a plate on the back. And this plate on the back gives us a couple things. One of the biggest and most important things it gives us is nice, powerful speakers. It also gives us 2 switch ports, so if you want to have a physical switch. It gives us an extended life battery. It gives us environmental control, so you can see we have a learning infrared remote here. And you can use that to control things like your lights or your TV or your radio. It also kind of goes into what we've done with the system. We realized that eye tracking is not the first communication system most people use. Most people start from something a lot simpler and then move to that as they have to. So we've actually tried to build one system that can progress with somebody so they don't have to switch hardware, they don't have to learn new software. And most people will start off and they'll use it as a touchscreen. And you can see the system actually has a touchscreen monitor on it. And then they can progress to switch scanning. They can progress to head tracking, they can progress to eye tracking, and all of that is built into one system. You don't have to buy accessories for it. Actually, the camera does the eye tracking and the head tracking. So I'm sitting here down in front of my software, and basically what I've got is I've got a camera with an LED, and that LED is creating infrared light. And that's shining on my eye, and as you can see in the camera image, we have got a pupil, which is kind of the large circle. And what that is that's just exactly like when somebody takes your picture and your pupils are red. It's exactly the same thing. That's a reflection of that infrared off of my retina. And then on the front you can see there's a nice bright dot right in the middle of my pupil. That's what's called the glint. And the glint is the reflection of that same LED off the front of my eye. And those are the things that it actually uses to track. So now I'm going to go through a short calibration. And you can see basically I'm looking at that little dot, and it turns from red to green to let me know that it's got my eye. So now this is the results screen, and you can see that all my little black circles are inside my green boxes. And now you can see that it draws some boxes around my pupil, and basically those are to indicate that the tracking is turned on. Right now I have it set on dwell, so you can see anything I look at, it dwells and selects. So I can type in H. Now I want to show you a couple things. I'm going to pause it real quick. First of all, you can see it says HH right there. That's actually what's called an abbreviation expansion. So if I was to choose that, it would expand into hello, how are you? Also, you can see the letters that have been grayed out. The W, for instance, the S. That's because it's doing letter prediction. So I've typed an H, and W doesn't follow H in any of my words. So I'm going to go ahead and unpause it. And you can see the letter prediction changes as I type. And I can choose my word prediction. And now what you can see is my A is not enabled. And that's because Logan's a proper noun. It's not in my dictionary. So what I can do in this case is I can go down here to clear predictions. Now you can see it enables my entire keyboard until I hit space. And now if I start typing again, it starts disabling again. And that clear predictions is really good for any words that aren't in your dictionary. So you can still get the advantage of our spell assist with being able to type new words. Now, the system also has what we call adaptive word prediction. And what that means is it learns as you type your words. If you clear prediction, it'll actually add that new word to your dictionary. Moving on a little bit further in, we've got a media player, so I can actually play through some pictures here. I'm playing music. And one of the neat things is I can get my music playing. There you go. And I can actually back out. And I can go in and I can be working on whatever I want. Leave my music running. Finally, we've got a remote control. This would be an example of how you control your TV. We've got a couple TVs. This is a DVD player. This would be, for instance, lights or a call bell. And they actually make infrared telephones. So you could use this to control an infrared telephone. The last thing, I've showed you the way we've kind of built a lot of the different uses into our system. Our email, our internet, our games, but the nicest thing about our system is that we don't force you to use those. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. We actually work directly in Windows and can work with pretty much any Windows software. As opposed to some eye tracking systems where the software has to be developed specifically for them, we can work with anything. And now what I'm going to do is I want to type into the address bar. So what you can see, what happened was, it saw that the address bar got focused. It saw that I was able to type into it. And what happened is an inner text button popped up there. And that's what we've done to try to really help users type in Windows, because it's always hard to have a keyboard that's big enough to use with Dwell and see what you're typing into on the same screen. So now if I click on my inner text button, now I can actually type with my regular keyboard what I want to say. So I can say Google. And now I can either replace the text that was there or append what I've typed to that text. So I'm going to replace it. You can see it actually types Google up in that box. Let's say you're not as accurate. So you can see I actually missed Internet Explorer and I clicked on a blank space on the screen. And this is how the zooming actually works. I have it set in what we call dynamic zooming. So before, when I clicked on Internet Explorer directly, you see it knew that I clicked on what I wanted, so it went ahead and sent the click. This time it said, wait a second, you tried to click on nothing. So I'm assuming that you missed what you were going for. So it actually, that's what caused it to zoom in. Alright, so what I'm showing you here is what we call the Libertas, and it actually uses muscle movement, very minute muscle movement, to control a switch. And a switch is basically anything that can do a discrete click. You can put it on your foot, you can put it anywhere where you have any sort of muscle movement. And the nice thing is, especially your eyebrows will actually stay with you very, very long. Very few people lose their eyebrows, so it's a really good switch access point. And then one of the neat things about the Libertas is, one, you can see it's completely wireless. It's got an 8-hour battery in it, and I can get an extension on the battery to give me about 15 hours. So I can walk around and I can use it as a backup. You can see every time I move my ring finger, it sends a click. So I'm going to start and I'm going to click on H, and you'll see that we actually use our letter prediction with scanning as well. And it can be speed you up quite a bit. So you can see it's going to skip directly to my E. So it skips all the letters that are disabled. So right now I have it, I think, on about half a second on each letter. So it saves me about 12 seconds when I'm typing hello. It also reduces my the number of errors that I make, just because there's less errors to make. So we have something we call Radar Mouse. And this is a way you can actually use Windows access with a switch. So you can see it. If I want to open, let's see, what can I open? Let's say I want to open my computer. I wait until the region gets over it. Now you can see there's a bar that sweeps that region. And when that sweeping area is over what I want to click, I just hit my switch. And the first hit, you can see, slows it down. So what we can do is we can start off going very quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to let it go nice and fast until it gets close, and then I'm going to slow it down. And we do the same thing with where the mouse moves. So it's going to go nice and fast. When it gets close, I slow it down, and I click it. So you can see that's how you can actually control anything in Windows through switch scanning.